Good day and welcome to Production Talk. My name is Reinhard, and in today's video we are taking a closer look at the functions layout and how to use your D.A.W. This is the second of 3 videos. Remember to watch part 1 here to get better insight on what we're working on, and part 3 after this one. So now that you understand the basics of the layout, let's start recording and tweaking some audio. Let's see how we can work with our recorded audio. So you have just opened Studio One, you just created the song, and now what you want to do is you want to actually add a track. Now, most importantly, there's a lot of ways you can add a track. So what you're going to do is you can either go to track, and you can either go to track and you can say add tracks, or you can go and add audio track. So that's going to be one single mono audio track, or add audio track, one single stereo audio track. Then you have all of these other ones as well, but for now I'm just going to go and say we can also add your instrument track. You can also add an automation track. Okay, so we're going to mostly be focusing on these first ones. So you can do it either add a track there, or you can go and you can just right click in the space here, and you can also go add tracks. So you see it's almost a similar menu that you had previously. So you can go add mono track, add mono audio track, and that is what you're going to be getting. There's nothing in there because we haven't recorded anything yet. And this is what you're going to be ending up with there. Okay, so let's say you actually want to go and record a vocal that you are busy with, or an instrument. Let's first have a look at an instrument. You are going to be plugging the instrument into your audio interface, and depending on where and how your audio interface is set up, you're going to select the specific input of that interface right here. So in this case, let's say I used this one. That's why I plugged in LX1. That's why I plugged in, let's say, my guitar. Okay, so then what you're going to do is that is exactly where you plugged it in, so you can on the interface use the gain to make sure that it doesn't peak. Okay, so that's your track. So let's say this track is guitar. You can just double click there and you can rename it. So let's make this acoustic guitar. There we go. So that's the name of that track. But now you have all these other things as well that you have, what are they doing? So once you have recorded this track here, you can either mute it. Sometimes you need to mute it. You can solo it. Solo is when you only listen to that specific one. And these two you'll be using most often when you are recording. So this is an actual arm or record button. So if you want to record, you just plug an instrument into this now, and you want to record what is happening here, you're going to select that one. Okay, it automatically selects a monitor button as well. The monitor button helps you, it plays it back so you can hear what you are playing here while you are recording it. Okay, one last thing on this here is you see this little icon on Studio One. This is the icon for actual wave or audio file that you are recording, and you'll see in a minute why that is important to help you to know where you are with your project. The last thing here will be your volume. So there you can adjust the volume on, when you start mixing it, or when you're actually playing it, how loud you will hear it as well. This feature here just changes the channel from a mono to a stereo channel. In this case, there's no mono inputs unless you select 2 of them there. You only got, well, you're mostly going to be doing mono, so we just keep on mono. So this is acoustic guitar. So let's see what happens if we actually record this now. So I've just plugged in a guitar. In this case, not acoustic, but it's electric. I just plugged it in straight. But although I'm still strumming it, it's not picking up there because I have to select the actual input. And in this case, the input is 4. Okay, so it will now, if you look at the levels on the interface, depending on what interface you have, you will pick it up there. Unless here, what you have to do is you're going to have to select the monitor button, and then you will start seeing this happening there. So if I strum it, there you can see there is some level coming through. So then you know whatever you are playing is at the correct, plugged into the correct channel, and it's assigned. You know that whatever you're going to be playing is going to be recorded here. Okay, so let's record something. Let's just record something. I'm just going to record a basic chord progression. Okay, so I've just plugged in my guitar. I've got everything armed here and I can hear what is being played. It's going to the right input, so if I strum it, you can see it and you can hear it. So that is what's coming through right there. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to record something there. So I've already got this record armed here. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to press record here, and you're going to see the playhead is going to start moving and it's going to do some awesome stuff. So there we go. So now what I want to do is I can just go and I can strum and you'll see stuff happening there. Awesome, look at that. So that is what we have just recorded, and we can now go and listen to it and hear what it sounds when I play it back. Okay, so that is a bit that we just recorded right there. You can now go and you can trim this off, beginning at the end. You can use, if you press 3, you're going to get that tool there. So I can either click on that tool, or I can press 3 and it'll also jump up, and then you can actually cut it. If I press 1, I'm going to go back to that tool right there, and you can then start trimming it if that's something you don't want in there. So that's also everything you can do to change this. What you just recorded, if it's be a voice or a guitar or anything else, that is what it will look like falling on here. So this is now working with a waveform track. Now what you want to work with is an instrument track. So in the previous video and a lot of the videos before, we were actually talking about MIDI. So MIDI is actually when you're working with instruments. So if you're going to go right click here again, you go down and you go to where this little piano is, and that is add an instrument track. So now I've added an instrument track. So my input and everything here, as you can see, looks different, although this looks very similar. The input here looks different because I'm using something else to trigger and you know, program audio in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to unselect that and that, because we're not using that track now, and I'm going to mute it. So whatever I do, I can play it, you won't hear any audio coming through. So now we're going to work with instruments. So let's say, for instance, you want to do a drum kit. Okay, so I'm going to go, let's go drums. I'm going to name this drums. And what I want to do is I want to start programming a drum kit. Okay, so that brings us to this very first button here on the right, and that is edit. Okay, so now already you start seeing a lot of stuff here. That's a lot of different already that we've been working with. So let's go and select an instrument. So there are tons and tons and tons of instruments in Studio One. You can pull in here. It doesn't just have to be drums. There are even guitars, different pianos, different synths, electric basses, drum kits, everything, different sound effects, and that you'll all find here in Browse. So if you go to Browse and you go to Instruments, this is where you'll be finding all the instruments. The ones I like to use are down here. There you can see all the instruments: bass, combinations, drum kits, effects, guitar, keyboards, percussion, strings, synths, vox, wind and brass. So those are all the instruments that you get with this Studio One Professional. So you will have a lot of instruments. If you're using Artist or maybe Prime, you'll have a lot less instruments, but you'll still have a lot to work with. So let's go, and I'm gonna just choose basic drum kit. What's awesome about Studio One, you can just click and drag. So I'm gonna click this and drag it over. The screen will pop up. This is pretty much your synthesizer screen and everything that you can change the sound with if you want to. If you press on it down here, you can start hearing the sounds. So there's the sounds that this specific instrument that you just put on that track is making. I'm going to close this because I mostly want to work with this bit here. So mostly want to work with this bit here, so I'm going to double click. So now I can start programming drums right here. So let's say I want to start, let's go from here, and this bit I want to just do a basic kick, snare and a hi-hat. I can very quickly, let me just find the kick. So C1 is a kick, so I want to add the kick. So there's all the kick. So if I play, you'll hear the kick. There we go. I maybe now want to add a snare. Yeah, that's a snare. I think it's that one. Yeah, right there. So let's go kick, snare. So this will just be alternating kick, snare, kick, snare. There we go. And let's play this. There we go. Let's jumble this up a bit. Let's put one there and we put another one there. Take that one away. Take that one away. Take that one away. Actually, this must be on one. Let's put it there. Nice, there's a nice drum kit. Okay, well, what else do you need with the drum kit there? Let's add some hi-hats. That sounds like hi-hats. I think it's here. Yeah. So hi-hats will fall right there. Great, let's listen to that. Nice. So there's a drum kit, there's a drum beat, and that I've done it without actually having an actual drum kit at all. So what you can do now is you can go and you can loop this, and you already have your drum kit. You can copy and paste it. So let's loop this. Nice. So there's our drum kit. Okay, so now you can add a lot more stuff that you want to. If you want to, you can copy and paste this, and you can have this the whole time, and it will just repeat it, and you can select all of these, and you can even copy it further because that's the whole beat. It's like loop off. So that is your drum beat. So you can go and you can add a lot of other instruments here as well. You can add synths and pianos and everything. So let's give that a try. You have your drums. So I'm gonna take this off like that. I'm gonna add another instrument track. I'm just gonna call this piano because I'm gonna be playing around with a lot of different pianos and you can hear what it sounds like. So that is piano, and make sure this one is selected. I'm going to select a piano or a keyboard, or let's just select a grand piano for now, and I'm dragging it in there. You're getting the same screen, listen to that. So now you have piano sounds coming through. So I want to double click there again, I get this, and I can now program a piano. There we go. Just random chords, random notes. Okay, so whatever I did there now, it's playing it back. So that is my piano. And it's not going to be a song, but now I can go, and if I want to, let me put it here. Unmute this one, unmute that one, play it back. It will sound terrible, but you'll hear everything, and you can mix it. There we go. Not really something played together, but it's the idea at this moment. Okay, so now you've got all these tracks and you want to do a lot more with it. You can actually go and you can click on edit, and it will take that window away. You can actually now go and click on mix. So what mix does is it brings up our mixer, so you can see all three the tracks we created there. This gives you a mixer now. So now you can go and you can actually change your level of your track or your instrument that you're working with. You can also see it changing there. All of these are pretty much the same. MS, mute and stereo. You have your record and your record and your monitoring. So this is pretty much almost the same as happening there, just in a mixer form. Here you can see your input, where it's playing to, and the name down here. You can also do different colors. So if you click on that, you can change the color. Let's make that green just so you can see. So now you know that you're working with the guitar. what I did here was drums, so let's make that, let's say, yellow. So now I'm working with the drums, and the piano, you can change it to, let's say that's pink. So now you know you're working with the piano. Okay, one more thing that's pretty cool when it comes to MIDI and all of that, let me just mute this, is I just did some programming, but you can play it in as well, be it a drum kit or a piano. I quickly want to demonstrate that. You can also go now and you're going to go and arm that so you can record it, and you can immediately go and press record and then it will start recording. That's where the MIDI controller comes in that we had a few episodes back. So using the same MIDI controller, it is on, it's all plugged in. I'm not going to show you to set it up now, just so you can understand how that concept works. I can play it as a piano here, and then you will see it appear on screen. So I'm going to go and actually go to edit so you can see what is happening here, where we have this playhead. I'm going to press record and you'll see it moving here. And while I'm actually playing, you'll see the notes that I'm playing. So they are all the notes. So as I'm playing, the notes appeared, and that is a note that I just recorded there, and you can hear. So I didn't go and program it, I actually went and I played it in as I would do with a normal piano. With the drums you'll do the same, we'll just have a different drum on each key. Okay, so one thing that you will work a lot with as well in Studio One or any D.A.W is right up here is you have where you can see where you're at in your project. This is what they call the playhead. Now what's useful is you want to sometimes have your project, if you zoom in, follow where you are. So I'm playing now, as you can see the view that I have is following the playhead. Now if you don't want that to happen because you may be working on a specific area, if I go back, you go to that button there, that's auto scroll, and you unselect that. So now you'll see the playhead keeps going, but it won't follow the playhead. So that's something you might use from time to time. Something else that I have on here there is snap to grid. The other one I have here is snap to grid. So what happens is when you work with any of these, let's say this guitar that we recorded earlier, at this moment it's snap to grid, so it's going to be snapping to these grid lines you have set up here. But sometimes you need more fine tuning or spacing of where you need to be. You can take snap to grid off, and then you're going to have a lot more smoother motion, because you maybe want this to be right in between those two grid lines and not right on it. So yeah, that is what you're going to be using for that. So we've been working with our instruments. Something else you're going to be working with here is your effects, and that is probably what a lot of you are looking to get. So when you have Studio One Prime, you're probably not going to have as much as effects that I have here. This is Studio One Professional, but you will still have quite a few. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually add one of these effects to, let's say, the acoustic guitar, and I'm going to use the one that you have most often in, that I know is in Studio One Prime, and it'll be straight, and that is that I know that's in Studio One Prime, and I know that's in all the versions, and that is your channel strip. This pretty much gives you your basic tools if you want to start off just recording and tweaking your audio. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click and drag this over to the acoustic guitar, and then this is going to pop up. So I'm going to unmute this, and what you have here is you have your low cut. You can engage and disengage your low cut. You have a very concise version of a compressor and an expander. You have a 3-band equalizer here, and you can see your equalizer settings there, and you have your gain. So this is the very basic channel strip that you actually can use. So if I'm going to play the guitar now, I can change the EQ here as I want to, and you'll hear how it's changing. So this is a basic. In the ones that I prefer using in Studio One Professional is I'm actually using what they call here is Pro EQ. It's a lot more, there we go, it's got a lot more bands to work with and features. So that's just for the EQing, and you can change the EQ as you want it right here. Okay, so that's just different plugins that you can work with. As you can see, it's got a lot of plugins. Yeah, as you can see, it's got a lot of plugins, so the possibilities are pretty much endless. The next one that I just want to add here is the loops. I'm going to mute the acoustic guitar, because now what I can do is I can go, and this is a dubstep hat, so it's a drum loop, the one that we heard earlier. I'm going to drag it over, I'm going to play it. Oh, where did that go? Need to add it in here. So I'm going to play it, and should probably unmute that. No, where did it go into? Ah, here we go. So I'm going to play it, and that is a loop that's already been pre-made, pre-recorded. Okay, so that was just hats. Let's go for, yeah. So if you need inspiration, you can drag that in there, play your instrument over that, and work from that. So that's what makes it so much more powerful. So one last thing that I know everybody wants, and this is the mixer. So you maybe want to know how to get back to the other effects that we added onto the acoustic guitar there. So when you're in the mixer, you can click on this little arrow here. It says expand. So there you can see both the two equalizers or channel strip that I've added to this track, and you can just double click on that. So then you'll be able to tweak that specific instrument that you are looking to change. Something else you can do is you can click on that arrow there, it will detach it, and then you'll get this, and you'll see all of your plugins pretty much in a line as it would be on a normal mixer or an analog mixer. Other things you do get in here is you get your inputs, so you can see your inputs. I think if I strum the guitar, there's a guitar coming in. You can see you can add your different outputs if you have more outputs. External will be all your extra external plugins. There's the MIDI controller, there's the remote for Studio One, and the fader board that we're using. Instruments, these will be the instruments that are added here. These are the drums and the piano. You can rename those ones as well, highly suggested. So yeah, that is a very quick run through of how you can work with Studio One. I hope this helps. A lot of DAWs do have the similar layout. You have your work area right here, you have your mixer with your plugins that you can add there. You can make this full screen as well, so that you can see all your plugins. You have all your instruments and your effects that you can drag into that, and you also have your edit. Depending on the D.A.W you're using, some of the features that you do have, like if I'm right clicking here, I can change a lot of things on the specific track that I have here. Depending on the D.A.W I have, it might be on a different area. You might need to go in a different menu, but you can do everything the same across all D.A.Ws. Please note that this is not a sponsored video, and none of the products or companies that are mentioned in this video are sponsored. The hardware and software we use are by personal preference only, or items that we already own and have on hand. The links of the products and companies we use in this video are in the description below. If you like this video and like to see more, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified when a new video is available. You can also follow us on Facebook at Production Talk channel and Instagram production.talk. The link will appear on screen and in the description. There you can stay up to date on events, news, and any upcoming videos. If you have any feedback, suggestions, or questions, feel free to drop it in the comments below or via any of the previously mentioned social media platforms. We will try our best to respond to them. I really hope that you have a better understanding of how your D.A.W works. You might still have to play around and get used to the layout and the features. You might also have to read up on the specific D.A.W you are using for more precise information regarding your D.A.W. See you in part 3.